All right. Well, welcome everybody. Some of you are still going to be joining here on our live broadcast here from the CineMilled garage. But today I wanted to highlight some of the new products that we are launching for 2024. So let me flip the camera around here. Hello everybody. It's Pedro here in the CineMilled garage, my favorite place. And I just wanted to spend some time here with you guys in the garage showing off some of our new products for this new year. So, all right. So, as you can see here, just today on our YouTube channel, I launched the new Smart Starters, which is right there on the frame of the car. You can head on over to our YouTube channel a little later and watch the video for the Smart Starters and also for our new product line, the CineRags. So anyways, for now, since you're here with me, I'm going to show you around the CineMilled garage and show you some of our new products that we have for you. So let me flip the camera around here, give you a closer look at our new line of starters called the Smart Starters. All right, so here we have the classic Pontiac 1954 Pontiac that was used in the music video that's on our YouTube channel. And for that music video, we actually did a little bit of rigging on the door of the vehicle to do a hostage tray shot. Now, what carried all the weight of that rig was our Smart Starters. And this is the new Smart Starter right here. You see it right there, mounted to the frame of the vehicle. But here it is in my hand. It comes in two versions. This is the solid version. It got something wet there. Let me dry that off here. All right, so something got wet on there. But anyways, so this is the solid version. So the solid version on the bottom has female threads, right? Female threads. And so you can attach this to the frame like we did there, put a bolt through it, and have a starting point for your vehicle rig. Now, on the top, what we have here is a female 5/8 receiver. So you can actually slide in a baby pin, as you can see right there, right onto the starter. What that means, of course, is if you have a baby pin on top of a camera, for example, you can slide the starter onto that, and you will actually have, you will transform your baby pin into a speed rail starter. So that is super cool. It does way more than like sort of the regular starters out in the industry do. The other really important thing about our Smart Starter is we didn't make it 100% round. We flattened the sides here because it's not necessary. And with the flat side, what we did is we added a bunch of metrics. So we got M8, M10, M12. And if you flip it over, we have 3/8 and a 1/4 20, and of course the area locating pinholes there. So Smart Starters, boom, so cool. So this is the solid version, what I call the solid version, and this right here is the hollow version. So this is something that it doesn't really exist, and is something I wish existed so many times when I was rigging cars, which is basically, it's very much like a regular grenade starter, except it's hollowed out in the center and has a floor, as you can see here. So the idea is you can take a bolt and go through it, right? You can go through it, boom, as you see there, put the socket in there and go straight on to the frame, or more importantly, replace a bolt that is currently on the vehicle. So I'm going to be doing launching some more videos demonstrating people how to use grenade starters, or what I'm calling smart starters. I'm going to show why you want to be using the solid, and why and how the hollow version is super useful, right? So vital. I'm going to be doing a really cool rig with the hollow versions. For rigging motorcycles, the hollow version is going to be super interesting. Here's some of our beautiful carbon fiber speed rail right there. And here's some tools left over from the video I shot, the tutorial video, showing people how to use the smart starters. So there you go. There it is, installed on the frame of the vehicle, right? You can see here, it's bolted through the backside. We're using a solid starter. And so once again, our starter has a 5/8 receiver on one side, so you can slide in a baby pin into that, right? You can attach a baby pin to the side holes. There's so many options that you can do with our new smart starter system. And nice of you to mention the CineRags, Tyler, because let's head on over here to the other part of our CineMilled garage, and let's talk about our new product line, CineRags. All right. So, all right, everybody. So let's head on over here to part 2, I guess, of our 2024 new product showcase here that we're doing right now, live for you on Instagram. And so we just covered the smart starters. Here they are again. This is the bigger one. This is the 1.5 inch. So we have them in both sizes. We're going to have them in 2 lengths. We can have a 2-inch and then a 4-inch. So in any case, that's the smart starters. As you can see behind me here, I am behind, or I can even get inside of this Aputure 150 dome. This 150 dome is huge. It's about the size, say more close to the surface area, it's a circle, of a 6x6. So it's very big, you know. You can see here I can raise my hand and I can barely touch the top of it. So those of you who have not, or who don't own Aputure Lightdome 150, it's an amazing, hey Ricardo, it's an amazing tool, especially for those smaller productions that you just don't have the manpower to set up combo stands, set up a goalpost, or set up a frame that's even more complicated, right? So yes, it's big. That's kind of a obvious thing to point out. But, you know, along with the size, let me go to the side of it here. There is the 150 right there. So, you know, the one thing you'll notice is, yes, it's big, but if you think about the footprint that you would need to replicate what the 150 does, you would need 2 combo stands, a 6x6 frame, and a lot more floor space. So right now I have it on a C stand. It's probably not the best stand. I probably would normally use a combo stand, especially if I was outdoors and this was going to be blowing around, because C stand would probably fold over if there was a little bit of wind. But here I got my Aputure 600D. But as you can see here, that's my point. It's only taking up a little bit of floor space, even if it was a combo stand. And, you know, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet of distance. And so even though it's very big, that's obviously a good thing. We want really big light sources. but it also solves a lot of problems, if you want a big light source. But, so this is where we get into the creation of the CineRags. I got the 150 dome before I got the 600D. The 600D I only got on actually a Black Friday sale about 2 months ago. Before, I was using my 150 dome with my 300D Mark II. And it worked great. You pump it up to 100%, and you got plenty of power. Actually, if I moved it close, which when I'm using the 150 dome and I'm shooting sort of what I shoot a lot these days with his videos for you guys, I do tend to have the 150 dome really close to my face. I would actually turn down the 300D Mark II, even in the 150 dome with the two-stop diffusion. So all of a sudden one day it hit me, I figured, why am I wasting all this amazing power we have in these Aputure LED light fixtures? We have so much power, even in something like the 200DS that I have right here. It's a very powerful light. It's almost as powerful as my 300D. It's a lot newer generation, even though it's an Amaran. But needless to say, we have a lot of power in our LED lights. So why not use that power to push through some stronger diffusion? So this is where I, operating in movies and TV for a long time, we frequently see and hear about muslin. So, muslin is sort of this magical fabric, right, that we use in the movie industry that really does something special to skin tones, in my opinion. Ultimately, when it comes to anything cinematography related, it's your opinion that matters. So you should do your own testing. Don't listen to what anybody on the internet says. Go ahead, buy some muslin at a fabric store, or you can go to any one of the big rag houses and order a 4x4 or a 6x6 of muslin and do some tests. See if you like it. I did. That's exactly what I did. And what I realized is that I really like muslin. So what frustrated me is that it was really hard to use with the domes. I would have to set up a frame. And being just myself, that took a lot of work, and the tendency was for me to just skip all that and not use that and just use the included Aputure diffusion. So what I decided is I have a good friend of mine who works in the textile clothing industry in downtown LA. It's actually one of my best friends. It's a family business, and I gave him a call and I told him, I don't know why this hasn't occurred to me sooner, but we have an idea for a product that we should make together. And so that's how the CineRags product line came to be. So what I have developed here is a drop-in insert for your Aputure 150 dome that you see behind me right now, and your Aputure Lightdome 2 or Lightdome 3, right? So this is only 90 centimeters diameter. This is 150 diameter. So what we did is we came up with muslin inserts. So we have unbleached muslin that you can see right here. You can see it's kind of yellow, right? So it's got a little bit of a yellow hue to it. So this is what we call unbleached. This is muslin in its natural sort of cotton state, right? The other nice side effect is that it is a organic fabric. It's a fabric, so it's actually quiet compared to the included Aputure diffusion. So that is a really cool thing. And then not only are we offering the unbleached, but we are offering also the bleach version. So if you can see here, the bleach version, see if I can get a good camera angle, it's bleached. It's a lot more white, right? And so this is great for, look at it, it's bouncing onto my face right now, right? You can use muslin as a bounce, but you can also use it as a diffusion, right? So we developed, let me flip the camera around here. So we have these little pull tabs which aid in ripping off the diffusion. Here is the 150 version of the bleached muslin or the unbleached muslin. So you see there's the pull tab right there. The other thing I want to point out here is the really nice finish that we have on the edge of this drop-in diffusion for the Aputure Lightdome. So we have it double stitched right here. We have it hemmed. And the important part about doing that is that you're actually, the light that's reflecting back onto your subjects, there's no exposed Velcro, right? There's no exposed Velcro. The light that's reflecting back on your subject will be all the way to the tip of the edge in muslin, right? And so if we flip this over here, you'll see the Velcro that we used right here. And let's hang this up. So that just sticks right there. And we can start to attach the muslin to our 150 dome. Boom. Now, this part is exactly the same as using your Aputure diffusions. It's only 1 inch Velcro, so there's still plenty of room left for your light grid, right? Which is obviously something we all use all the time. So here it is coming together. You can see how massive it is. It's really big, this Lightdome 150. And, you know, with the size of the 150, the best part is how much that light wraps around your subject, right? Because of the size. So by diffusing it a little heavier with the muslin, the end result is really, really something beautiful. So, you know, let me do the last little bit here. All right, you'll see the really nice fitment. It's nice and taut. All of our fabric is pre-washed and pre-shrunk, okay? So you can, if it gets dirty, you can wash it, and it should not shrink on you. Although my tendency, my advice is try to keep your rags as clean as possible. Seems like an obvious advice. With age, right, the fabric will change color with exposure to heat of the lamp itself, with exposure to the sun, to the UV rays. If you set this up outside in the desert, there's dust blowing. With time, everything is going to affect your color temperature, right? So try to take care of these as much as possible. Take them out of the plastic bag, put them on the light, take them out of the light, put it back in the plastic bag. Take care of it as much as possible, and it should give you years of good performance. But yes, if you do have to wash it, it should not shrink. It should come back and give you a nice fitment just like we did here. So here you go. That is our 150 dome. And from the this is our CineRags unbleached for the 150 dome. So there you go. Let me show you here. This is the bleach. So let's see here if you could tell a difference. So that's bleached. You'll see it's whiter, and that is unbleached. You see it's more yellow, right? It's a little bit more yellow. So let's install this guy right here. Boom. This is a prototype. You see I've evolved the construction and the sewing of them as we went on. And so that's such a good point to bring up. I went through a lot of, let me turn up the power here on this guy. Boom. All right. I should turn up the power on this one also. All right, let me flip the camera around. So, maybe you can see here, these are all different versions of the fabric, different suppliers of the fabric. I went through a lot of work to find the fabric that closely matched what I called my control samples. So I purchased bleached and unbleached muslin from one of the top suppliers here in Los Angeles. I took some light readings. I broke out the spectrometer, took some readings of that, and averaged out my sort of target goals with color temperature for both the bleached and the unbleached. And I'm happy to say we are within I have it all written down. I'm going to put it on the product page. Within 10 or 20 kelvins of the top leading brand of muslin. So if you use muslin right now, to film some of your videos, and you get that from one of the big suppliers here in Los Angeles, this will give you near the same colorimetry as those sources of rags, right? And so actually right now we can take some readings. Let me turn off some lights here. Let's turn off this guy. Boom. Let's gotta turn off, this guy's gonna be, right here. 1 second. You can see up there we got my grid. There you go, turn off. All right, so now all my other lights are turned off. Let me turn off the 300. All right, so right now the only thing we have lit is this guy right here, the 600D. Let me turn that up to 100%. Boom, let's go crazy. So 100% on the 600D. So this is the iPhone camera auto exposuring down. So that's 100% on the 600D. Let's take our Sekonic C800 spectrometer right there. Okay, let me swap the camera around here. All right, so there we see it. Let's flip this guy around. And so I have the dome, the sensor dome pointed, the photosensitive dome pointed at our light source. And let's take a reading right now. Boom. So you can see there, 4798 Kelvin, right? So that is at about 4 feet away from the light. As we move away from any light, so now we're about 10 feet away. Let me take another reading. 49. So you'll see the reading, the color temperature reading will change depending on how close or how far you are from the light. So, needless to say, I have all the test results that I did on our website. You can see there and get specifics on how much warmer or cooler it is from one to another and all those sorts of things. But needless to say, the unbleached variety, hey, what's up, Drell? The unbleached variety is going to be a lot warmer than your Aputure diffusion that's included in the kit. Now, if we go ahead and turn off the 600D here, alrighty, and let's turn on the 300D Mark II with our unbleached. So you can see already how it's much whiter right there. And you can take the unbleached. Let's grab a reading from roughly the same distance. And you can see there 5,400 Kelvin. So a few seconds ago, you saw I took a reading of the unbleached, and it was about, 4,700 Kelvin. And now the bleached is a lot closer to the Aputure fabric, which is, not exactly 5,600 K either. Now, once again, if I take my reading right here, okay, so there we go, 5401, and I back up, I don't know, like 10 feet or so, and you can see how it's warmed up, right? So now there's a little bit of light pollution. I have a skylight coming on there. This is not a perfectly, dark room at the moment, but just to point out, I just wanted to point out because, as you can see by the name here, this is my good friend Timur that has loaned me his spectrometer. I don't actually own a spectrometer myself either. I would love to own a spectrometer because it's been so eye-opening to play around with the spectrometer and learn more about how lights react, how I can, really accurately adjust color shifts or, match one light if I have a light that's bicolor or that's an actual RGB light, how I can really match the color of one to the other. This is an amazing tool that I think in a lot of cases these days can be even more useful than the light meter. The light meter, this one is mine. I do own a light meter. So why? Because these days we're lighting a lot less off of a meter. And what impacts us a lot more these days is color temperature and how the lights all interact with each other and balancing everything. And remember, this spectral graph right here, this directly impacts your skin tones. So this is a very important tool. I wish it was not as expensive as it is, but such is life. That's the world we live in. The photography world is nothing's really, all the good stuff, like most good things in life, is not inexpensive, but super useful tool. But so just be careful when you do your own testing with our drop-in Aputure light domes, our CineRags, right? Our muslin inserts for the Aputure domes. Buy one, do some testing, see what it does to your skin tones. Get a model, put her in front of your softbox, play around with the lighting, grab your spectrometer, right? Grab your spectrometer and see what the muslin is going to do to her skin tones. Keep an eye later in post and look at the histogram. You're going to notice that there is a lot more. There's a lot more in the red and yellow area. I mean that's why it's warmer, but the end result is sort of this golden look. So, anyways, if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see my full tutorial video where I have I do some comparisons of no diffusion, the Aputure 2-stop diffusion, and the CineRags, right? So to talk a little bit about the stops here, the light meter readings, so Aputure calls their inserts 1-stop and 2-stop. Now, in my testing, maybe you'll have different methods, maybe your meter reads differently, but in my testing, the Aputure rags were not 1-stop and they were not 2-stop, right? So our muslin was a lot closer to a true 2-stop of light loss. I would maybe call the Aputure like the Aputure 2-stop, maybe a stop and a half. There's definitely, the muslin is a little bit thicker diffusion than the Aputure 2-stop fabric. It's more of a poly, right? It's not really a cloth fabric. See, because one of the nice things about this is quiet, right? It's not plastic. It's muslin is very quiet. So that's a cool side effect. So anyways, guys, these are available for purchase on our website right now. They're called CineRags. They are drop-in, Velcro in, right? Velcroed in replacements for the Aputure Lightdome 150, the big boy. And we also have for the Lightdome 2, the Aputure Lightdome 2. And going back to the beginning of this live, we got the Smart Starters. The Smart Starters are in stock right now. Both the hollow version that you see right here and the solid version. So let me cruise back here to the other part of our garage here where I have the lift and some of our movie cars, our picture cars. So this is brand new, just launched today. It's on our website. It is also in stock and ready to ship. So we have a quote-unquote solid version that has female threads on the bottom, a variety of metric and standard threads, that has threads on the side of the starter, and has a 5/8 receiver on top so that you can slide in a baby pin, right? The Smart Starter, the hollow Smart Starter, is very similar to the solid, except that you can actually drive a bolt right through it and come out the other side and tighten from this side. Whereas the solid starter, you have to tighten the bolt from the back side, right? This one, you can tighten from the top. That's the basic difference. So I have this all set up here because I shot first the product video that is live on our YouTube right now, but also a demo video with a lot more in-depth about why we use starters, how to attach them to the frame of a vehicle like I did right here. So that video I'm editing right now. It's not on the channel. Right now on the channel is just a product video for the Smart Starters. But the tutorial video that's more in depth, I'm going to talk more about frames and how you can find a place to attach your starters and start your rigging for your project. So, incredibly out there on the internet, there is virtually no information about vehicle rigging, right? The information that's out there about vehicle rigging is largely stuff that I've put out. There certainly isn't anything about how to use starters. And so now that we have a full product line of starters, we've got 2 different starters. Not forgetting, we also have our modular speed rail starters, which also have their use. I'll be making a lot more tutorial videos. I'm going to show you use cases. The hollow version is going to be amazing for rigging motorcycles. I'm probably going to do a motorcycle rig. I'm going to do a bicycle rig. I'm obviously a big motorcycle guy. So a lot of fun stuff happening in 2024. Excited to be here at CineMilled in our CineMilled garage with you guys right now live. But I encourage you, if you're probably jumping on this at different points, head on over to our YouTube channel, subscribe, because we're trying as best we can to constantly throw up new videos up there with tutorials and a lot of other educational content, as well as new product releases. So, all right, guys, we have our CineMilled user group on Facebook, so you can join there if you have questions. You can ask questions, of course, at any given point here on the comments. But also, we have a really cool vehicle rigging and camera car group on Facebook. I encourage you to join if you like automotive cinema, rigging, and shooting cars. You should definitely head on over there. So, all right, guys, I'm going to sign off. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Let's all have an amazing 2024, 2023. Well, we're just glad it's over. We're all back to work. No more strikes. And I'll see you on set.